How do you start your morning? On Christmas Eve, 1988, 13 brazen criminals led by Hans Gruber showed up at the Nakatomi Plaza in Los Angeles for the corporation's annual Christmas party. Their plan? To hold business executives hostage and bomb the skyscraper's roof with C4 explosives to distract authorities from their real intentions. To break into a sophisticated vault and steal $640 million in negotiable bearer bonds. Wit and sophistication may be enough to keep the FBI at bay, but it's not enough to stop a wisecracking, wife-beater wearing shoeless New York City cop who will stop at nothing to save the spirit of Christmas.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
I want you to close your eyes and picture something. Imagine the amount of work that goes into a heist of this sophistication. The months, if not years of preparation. The hours spent reading over complex blueprints. The stockpiling of guns, ammunition, and explosives. Not to mention assembling a crew of loyal mercenaries, each an expert in their own field. I mean, it's not like you can just place an ad in the paper that reads like this.
Wanted, team of remorseless psychopaths needed for largest heist in American history. Must be willing to murder civilians and wage war on police and FBI agents. Experience with military-grade explosives, weaponry, and hostage-taking is preferred, but not required. Only applicants with foreign-sounding accents, bad tempers, and menacing facial features will be considered. Compensation in the form of bearer bonds will only be paid out upon the successful completion of the mission. Note, we're committed to promoting an environment of diversity and inclusion. For this reason, we're seeking one henchman of Asian descent, preferably with a stereotypical Fu Manchu mustache, one African-American, the nerdy kind, and 11 crackers. Serious inquiries only. Bill Clay.
You gotta have some seriously twisted connections to assemble a team like that. I mean, these guys were like the dream team of armed robbery. Just check out the roster. You got the charismatic mastermind and highly skilled negotiator, the explosives and demolition expert, the computer whiz and safe cracker, the Labatt Blue influencer / ballet dancer, who swapped his tights for a machine gun to prove he's not a pussy, and 9 disposable henchmen.
Oh my God, the quarterback is toast.
If anyone could rig a roof with explosives and detonate it, making it appear as though they were blown to pieces along with their hostages while actually escaping through the basement in an ambulance with $640 million in negotiable bearer bonds, it should have been these guys. But unfortunately, things rarely go as planned. Okay, so now I want you to picture something else. Imagine you're terrified of flying, but your wife took the kids and moved them across the country. Now you're stuck on a plane for the next 4 hours sitting next to a pervert with a foot fetish who tells you to make fists with your toes.
Take off your shoes and your socks and make fists with your toes.
Do you A, pistol whip the shit out of them? I mean, it's okay, you're a cop from the 80s in New York.
It's okay, I'm a cop.
B, politely ask the flight attendant to switch seats. Or C, just take his advice.
Son of a bitch.
Option A may sound like a good idea if you don't want to wake up in seat C7 to a stranger with a hard-on sucking on your toes. But if you choose option C and take his advice, you better be damn certain you don't get caught with your shoes off in the middle of a hostage-taking scenario.
Better be caught with your pants down, huh?
Unless you're New York City cop John McClane and you're prepared to murder as many terrorists as possible until you find a pair of shoes that fit, then it's not really a big deal. In that case, I mean, it's really more of an inconvenience than anything. Unless you wind up killing this guy's brother. Then you might have a bit of a problem. But I mean, that guy had a right to be pissed. I mean, McClane did break his brother's neck and turn his lifeless corpse into a Christmas ornament that wouldn't even look out of place in Nightmare Before Christmas. But turns out it doesn't really matter anyways. That guy wasn't much of a problem.
And I heard your brother squeal, and I broke his fucking neck!
McClane foiled the terrorists around every turn. It was like he was always one bloody footprint ahead of them. What's that? You want to avoid unnecessary police attention?
Welcome to the party, pal.
You want to accuse me of being inspired by John Wayne?
I was always kind of partial to Roy Rogers, actually.
You want to rig the roof with explosives and blow up a bunch of innocent people on Christmas Eve?
Talk to me. Where are my detonators?
Go fuck yourself, Hans.
Oh, you're gonna shoot Alice in the face unless I tell you where the detonators are?
John.
Be my guest. But even with McClane single-handedly destroying their diversity quota one terrorist at a time, Hans and his gang did manage to retrieve their detonators and hack into the vault. All they needed to do now was move the hostages to the roof, rigged with enough C4 explosives to warp Arnold Schwarzenegger and blow it, killing the hostages and faking their own deaths in the process. Before you could say Frohe Weihnachten, they'd be relaxing on the Argentinian coast, sipping on schnapps with blonde-haired, blue-eyed babes in Nazi Germany's Most Wanted. I'd like to see you get in the way of that plan, McClane.
Get the fuck down, stick!
Okay, so he managed to foil that plan too. But Hans and his now almost completely non-diverse... Okay, let me try that again. But Hans and a remaining straight white male henchman... Awesome. So I guess now Hans had the entire 640 million in negotiable bearer bonds to himself. Party time was just around the corner. He could already taste the schnapps and Wiener Schnitzel.
Oh, guten Tag.
If only there was a way to quickly get to the basement to the getaway ambulance. Luckily, McClane had an idea for that as well. And that's how New York City cop John McClane saved Christmas. So what do you think? Should criminal enterprises consider diversity quotas before committing acts of terror? Would Hans have been more successful if he added a few Middle Easterners to his team? Let me know down in the comments below. And of course, make sure you murder that subscribe button and hit that notification bell, because I've got new killer content dropping all the time. And if you just can't get enough, you can head over and follow us on Instagram or even TikTok for even more killer content. Merry Christmas. And Die Hard is not a Christmas movie.